Co-workers. Welcome back to Ask the Energy Advisor. I'm your energy advisor, Brian Hawk at Noble REMC. Today we're going to talk about water heater maintenance, and not water heater maintenance on this glorious water heater here, but water heater maintenance on this old girl back here. So what we're going to talk about today is just a very simple maintenance of flushing the water heater tank. Every manufacturer out there recommends that you flush this once a year. I can personally guarantee this one has not been flushed in a year. So we're just going to go over the steps pretty quickly. I don't know if you can see, but I've already attached a garden hose. We have a tile drain here that we're going to drain the excess water out of. I do have a solo cup there because we're going to try and capture some of the sediment and some of the fun stuff that's in the bottom of a water heater so that we can show you what you're living with on a daily basis. What we're going to need as far as safety equipment, really nothing super spectacular. Keep in mind this is going to be 120 degree water, so you're going to want to be a little bit cautious about that. The steps we're going to take: number one, we're going to shut the breaker off to the water heater. Number two, we will shut the cold water inlet off to the water heater so that we're not bringing any more water in right away. Number three, we're then going to go up and open up a hot water faucet, preferably the one farthest away, because that'll help keep air out of the system when we bring water back into the unit. And then number four, we're going to come down and we're going to flush our water right down here. There's a drain valve right there on the bottom of the water heater. Manufacturers put that on every one of them. Okay, so here we are. We have our hot water faucet opened up upstairs. We have our cold water inlet shut off. We have our breaker shut off. And by opening up that hot water faucet up there, it's going to allow this tank to drain freely. And again, I've got the solo cup here just so we can capture a little bit of what is in this bottom of this water heater. And don't be surprised if you have not drained a water heater for a long time. This valve may be corroded up, or there may be enough sediment in the bottom to where you cannot physically open that, or it will not bleed out. In that case, you're best off to just let it ride until the water heater fails and get yourself a new one. So here we have just an example. That's pretty gray, pretty cloudy. I have seen worse, believe it or not. But that's what we have in the bottom of the water heater. So as I said earlier, this water heater has not been flushed for quite some time. You can see that. Obviously, seeing this heat pump water heater here, you can tell that they're going to change that out. So we're just gonna drain out 10-15 gallons. Try and get this stirred up on the bottom. You do not have to completely drain the water heater to flush the water heater. There is on your cold water inlet right here, there is a fill tube that comes all the way down real close to the bottom. So when you open up that cold water flush, it'll go all the way down, stir that sediment up, and then it'll flush out. So I've got my cold water inlet valve right here. I just run it a little bit so I can flush that, stir that sediment up, keep it draining. And we're going to check it out again. And I think I have officially flushed up enough sediment. It is plugging my drain. So this is what I was talking about. If a water heater has not been properly maintained, I've got a key component here of maintaining the longevity of a water heater. It has not been taken care of, so I can't get any more water out of the bottom of this water heater. I've pretty much shown you, not necessarily worst case scenario because it's not leaking, but not a real good case scenario. When you get this much sediment starting to build up in here, you've got your lower heating element right here. A lot of times the premature element failure is due to sediment buildup in this bottom of this water heater. So very fortunate this water heater has not kicked that element out yet, But what can happen is that's just basically a dead short or a controlled short in that element. And when you start introducing solids around that, it'll short out to the tank, and then you'll ruin your water heater element. So just an example, I mean a real good example of what can happen. This water heater, again, it's going to be replaced. You see the heat pump water heater right here beside it. But probably not a lot of life left in this with that lower element being in contact with sediment. So what we're going to do, we're just going to run everything back in reverse. Okay, so just on a whim, I told you that we had a blockage right here on this lower valve. I went ahead and shut my faucet off upstairs, opened up my cold water fill right here. I'm being dripped on. Turned on my cold water fill down here, and that gave enough pressure to get the blockage out of here. So we can still continue flushing this water heater. You can see we're still getting gray matter, gray sandy substance out here. What I'm going to do is I'll continue, when you're doing this at home, continue to flush this water heater until it runs clear. You know, that's a good indicator that you've got all the sediment off the bottom of it, and that'll help, you know, really extend the life of your water heater. So with that, we're just going to go ahead and conclude this video. I'm going to close everything back up the way it was, but if you have any questions on water heater maintenance, just feel free to give me a call at Noble REMC. We want to thank you again for watching our Energy Advisor series videos. So with that, have a great day.